Back to Lagos. Now, when the federal government announced free basic education in Nigeria, it was a relief that Nigeria's high rate of out-of-school children would reduce. More than 5 years after, Nigeria still grapples with one of the highest number of children out of school in the world. Munya Thomas spotlights the effort of an individual to rewrite the narrative in his community within the Federal Capital Territory.
This might be just a tree to many, but it is not. Under the shade of this mango tree, learning takes place. Here, these children, full of dreams, gather every day, not in a proper classroom, but in what has become a lifeline for their future, a transition school. With eagerness on their faces and strength of voice, they learn against all odds, reciting lessons and passionately following their teachers' instructions. For 13-year-old Rodia Umar, who finished her primary education in 2024, the transit school remains the only option for her to fulfill her dreams.
Because my daddy don't have money to put me in the school.
But you finished primary school?
Yes.
Where did you do primary school?
This side. Primary school.
What do you want to go to school?
Yes.
What do you want to become when you grow up?
Lawyer. My father no have money to go take me to school.
Did you go to primary school?
Yes.
You finished primary school?
Yes.
Okay, so what do you want to become when you grow up?
Engineer.
Engineer?
Yes.
I want to be a pilot.
A pilot?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you wish to go to school?
Yes.
This tree holds the promise of a dream they cling to so tightly. Such dreams, according to Mr. Mukaddas, are what motivated him to establish this transit school.
Every morning when you wake up, what you see on the streets are young boys and girls roaming in the street who are supposed to be in school. And boys engage in scavenging activities, moving from one completed building to another, while girls also engage in through selling of groundnut, fast food and all of that, moving from one street to another street, moving from one risky area to another. Unfortunately, the cases of child abuse, especially for girls, were reported in this community.
He also spoke about how the initiative works.
We have two types of out-of-school children in this center. One, we have never attended school, those who have never been to school. We bring them to this center and teach them basic skills like mathematics and English. Then we have dropout, those who drop out of school or those who could not make transition between primary school and junior secondary school, or between junior secondary school and senior secondary school. So those one, we teach them what they have already learned in their previous school, like mathematics, like English or social science. So this is what we teach them to make them busy, to keep them, from moving in the street.
The dreams are quite lofty.
When we started this program, we divided this community into two sections. We have western part of this community and we have eastern part of this community. So we started with the western part of this community, where we established our center. We register more than 500 out-of-school children in that center. But within 2 years, we are able to support them. We connect them with their sponsors, and today we have already achieved 0 out-of-school children in the western part of this community. So now we are concentrating in the eastern part of this community, that is this center. So by the time we enroll these children in school, we should be able to have 0 out-of-school children in this part of this community. And together we hope before February 2025, we should be able to declare this community as first community in Nigeria to achieve 0 out-of-school children using this community outreach program.
For the volunteer teachers too, it is a call to service.
When you wake up, you just see somebody roaming around without anything. The next thing you see is fights, talking about things that does not even concern them. You see a boy, when you heard him speaking, you hear him speaking, saying something that even you will be ashamed to say. So I thought like, okay, how could I even help these people? What should I do to avoid what if it's my child? Because when, okay, now I'm married, okay, when that child grow up and all that, how do he will collaborate with those people and still learn from them. So how do I avoid that? That was why I said, okay, maybe when I take care of these people, when my own comes, he will be among the good ones because they are already good. But when we leave them like that, they will have problems. So later on, I happens to know, I hear about it, that there is a place like this, and then we started.
Started teaching dances 3 years ago. I'm just voluntary because this Kingakwaso is my community. I'm living here, and this is my boss. He's the one that came here 3 years ago. I meet the chief of this community, and we have some challenges here. The writing boards are too small for them. If I want to write like counting of number from 1 to 200 for them, I used to divide it into 3 before we reach 200.
Rhodia, by my left, wants to be a lawyer. Lawal aims to be an engineer, while Jafar wants to be a pilot. These are not pipe dreams. They are dreams that not only them nurse, but all the children in this transit school. They are dreams that can become a reality if they get an opportunity to go to a regular school.
Poverty has been a leading cause of increased out-of-school children in Nigeria. This is also an excuse given by some of the parents we visited.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much.
Mumini Abdullahi, who has been incapacitated for some years, is full of praise for the initiative. He appeals to the government to make basic education accessible.
I was having stroke, partial stroke. I've been passing through almost 3 years now. Yeah, so all this problem is on me. Now, if government can help to support the children education, will be happy, so that we parents will try as much as possible to hustle to feed them. Now, when we are talking of feeding, talking of food, how we can survive, instead of government to help us about our children, about their education, the side of education, wallahi, is very terrible these days.
As his daughter wraps up her junior education, he is uncertain what the next move will be for her. Authorities at the government school in the community say they have been making effort to improve access to education.
We give him a waiver. He can only get a uniform for them, and he buys the textbooks for them. So we waive every other thing in the school so that they will be able to come to school.
She breaks down the charges.
Actually, the uniform itself plus school sportswear, cardigan is 13,000. Then we have the books, textbook, English 3,005, mathematics 3,005. Then we have the literature. Some are 400, some are 350 naira, like that. So he can purchase those ones. As for the school charges, we have PTA in the school. We have PTA, we call it NAPTA. That one is for UBEB. General PTA, we call it NAPTA. Then we have other things like hospital, like the health. We have utility. All we waive those ones. We have examination. They give us something, a tip for examination to enable us print answer sheet and question papers. And many other things like that. So we waive, yes, more than 5,000. We waive it so that they will not have it as an excuse not to come to school.
To investigate this discrepancy, we visited the Universal Basic Education Office in the Federal Capital Territory to inquire about the extra charges beyond school uniforms and books.
The issue of charges, let me be sincere to you. As I've said, one is free and compulsory. But then the parents and the teachers, they have a union where they think it goes to their credit if they can complement the effort of the government, but it's not compulsory. It's never compulsory. It is an effort where the logo of free education is that education for everybody is everybody's responsibility. But then the question of say maybe everybody should pay 2,000 naira, no. The parents on their own, if a parent on you feel like everyone can control the whole classroom, it's welcome. But it should not be a criteria for admission, it should not be a criteria for anything, no. If you have the resources, you want to support the government, you are welcome.
He insists no government schools is supposed to charge any fees.
But even that one, they are doing it through the window. It's an approved procedure. Okay. And that's why I say if we get such a thing, such head of the school will actually be sanctioned because it's not allowed. It is done through the window. It's not allowed.
This highlights a stark reality. Despite existing government policies, implementation often falls short. Consequently, many government schools across the country impose fees that remain unaffordable for some parents, exacerbating the number of out-of-school children nationwide. Nigeria has